Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
State Representative Ben Robbins, a Republican of Sylacauga, is making some waves in the world. Why? Because starting October 1st, after Alabama's porn ID law goes into effect, you're going to have a hard time getting some of that porn online. Now, some of you might be rushing out to get VPNs and stuff like that. Maybe that's the case. But the law requires age verifications and warnings about the dangers of pornography in the state of Alabama when you go to log into these sites. Some sites have already announced they will pull their services from Alabama due to the new restrictions, basically admitting that their porn sites are being accessed by minors and they don't want to be caught having their porn sites accessed by minors. It's sort of an admission that they've been doing all the things that we suggest they've been doing. And I like this plan. I'm a fan.
Number 6.
In Alabama's 2nd Congressional District race, the Griots, Michael Harriot, who I've reached out to for an interview, ridiculously declares that the race between Democrat Shamari Figures and Republican Caroline Dobson is a race between, are you ready for this? A daughter of the Confederacy versus the Klan killer's son. Now, Harriet's brain-damaged earworm take here, brainworms, excuse me, it includes giving Figures his father's accomplishments while placing Dobson's great, ready for this? Great 5-time great-grandfather's sins on her. This is just so weird that in 2024 we're talking about what her great-grandfather did.
Number 5.
Congress passed a temporary funding measure on Wednesday averting a government shutdown by keeping agencies funded through December 20th, which is what? Oh, the way past the election. Okay, good. I mean, as long as they get past the election and they're okay. Are they okay? Are you okay, Mike Johnson? Are you guys okay? I want to make sure you guys are all right with the election coming up. You guys are good? Okay, good. They added $231 million to bolster the Secret Service amid increased threats. And there's a story now that some random guy showed up and got within inches of Barack Obama with a loaded handgun. Yeah, they're worried about that now, too. The bill now awaits President Biden's signature, or Jill Biden placing her hand on Joe Biden's hand and then getting Joe Biden's signature that way. Spending decisions after the November 5th election, they're going to be tough then. That's when they're going to get to work, guys. Wink, 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 wink.
Number 4.
Republicans seem like they're on board. Not as much as the media pretends, though. What are we talking about? Glock switches inside the state of Alabama. Apparently, there is growing support among Alabama lawmakers from both parties for a bill that bans Glock switches, devices that convert semi-automatic handguns to automatic fire. Mayor Randall Woodfin has been pushing this as sort of a, I would say, distraction for what's been going on inside his city. By the way, they're looking for those guys. Anyone know what those guys look like? Like we're looking for a bunch of guys that got out and murdered 4 people and shot 17 others. What color hat were they wearing? Anyone know? Might we talk about that? Whatever. They want tougher gun laws because that's truly going to solve the problems. But we'll see whether or not we get something out of this. It looks like Republicans are kind of on board with it. We'll see.
Number 3.
Following the deadly shooting in Birmingham's 5 Point South area, we do have somebody who gets it. His name is United States Senator Tommy Tuberville, a Republican out of Auburn. He is saying, look, this violence is getting out of control. And he is blaming Democratic policies like defund the police and other ideas where it's like, well, maybe we're too tough on crime and that's creating crime. Remember how stupid that was? Remember how that was the premise? It's like there's too many police. We got to get rid of these police. If we got rid of these police, crime would go away. It's just like, why are you saying these things? We know it's not true. Tuberville says, this is dumb. We need to have more support for law enforcement. Quote, we need to fund the police, end quote. So we need to focus on tangible solutions to crime, not stricter gun laws as Randall Woodfin is trying to do. But here we are watching as this argument continues to go on in Birmingham. Hey, what do those guys look like? Does anyone know?
Number 2.
Birmingham City Council member Crystal Smitherman stood right next to Randall Woodfin at a podium and expressed her frustration over rising crime in the city, urging Mayor Randall Woodfin, who was wearing an entire suit this time. Very nice to dress up for him. She said he wants him to, quote, put the hammer down on criminals after a recent mass shooting in the 5 Point South area. Smitherman emphasized that residents feel unsafe and criticized the perceived boldness of criminals, noting that stricter enforcement is needed to restore public safety. For her part, Governor Ivey clarified that she has no plans to deploy the National Guard to Birmingham. So the put the hammer down stuff is directed at Randall Woodfin. He needs to put the hammer down. By the way, does anyone know what these guys look like that they're looking for? Does anyone have any idea who they actually are? Should we like, I don't know, have a clue?
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
Days after MSNBC's Stephanie Rule went on Real Time with Bill Maher to go to the mat to defend Vice President Kamala Harris's inability to do a substantive interview, arguing that who cares what she thinks about anything? She's not Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's the worst. Vote for Kamala Harris, and whatever she does will be better. We shouldn't even be asking her questions. And I think it's insulting that you're suggesting we should be asking her questions. Well, after she gave that brilliant argument, the Harris campaign was like, let's sit down with her. Let's sit down with her and have a conversation. So Stephanie Rule got the first solo interview with Kamala Harris after making the argument that Kamala Harris shouldn't have to do solo interviews. Very smart. Very smart. So the interview went well? Oh, no. It was such an abortion, it would be illegal in Georgia. Okay, that's how bad this thing was. But she sat down with her. She's an opinion host. They tried to help her, and they couldn't. Here was a hard-hitting question. They asked her, you ready for this? This is a hard-hitting question. Can we trust you? I want to know which candidate goes, no. What are you, crazy? You trust me? I'm a liar all the time. You can never trust me. She failed a lot. And I mean a lot. It was pretty bad. Again, if this was in Georgia, she'd have been charged with having multiple abortions. Okay, and that's how bad it was. She rambled on about the economy, tariffs, endorsements, taxes, McDonald's. Yes, they're still talking about that. So am I. The border and everything else you could imagine. It was an utter embarrassment. But it was a Kamala Harris interview, so that's exactly what you would expect. They tried to help her, and they couldn't. That's how bad this was. They were unable to help her in an interview where they were trying to help her. Now, you may say to yourself, she doesn't have to do these interviews. She doesn't have to do this stuff. She doesn't, there's no obligation here to do this. But if you're going to sit her down, don't do this. Don't do this.
Can we trust you? Yes. Yes. I am not perfect, but I will tell you, I'm always going to put the needs of the people first.
Great stuff there. Great stuff, Kamala, whatever your name is. Can we trust you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can trust me. Yeah. And by the way, I just want to play it again, because listen to the beginning of the response. A, she sounds shocked by the question, and then she, reiterates the answer, no, seriously, you can trust me. Just listen.
Can we trust you? Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm
It's
committed
very
to the
compelling.
bit.
Very compelling.
Very compelling. That's what people always say about Kamala Harris. What a compelling person. Oh, what a wonderful person. All right, we got a lot to get into here. We will do it right here, right now. You can get in with your questions for 10 with him or your comments on any of these. Can we trust you? Yeah. You can trust me. Right now, get in here. You need to do it right this very second. 866-494-WVNN, 866-494-9866. That's the scoutpestcontrol.com WVNN hot take text line. You can also jump in on the downtownrescuemission.org email inbox, Dale at WVNN.com. You can talk to us there as well. Like I said, get your comments in on any of the 7 things. Also, your questions for 10 with him. We got it all. Sam Gavant coming up here in a bit. Philip Insler joining us a little bit later to talk Glock switches as well. We got a busy one for you. Keep it locked right here on WVNN.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 things you should be talking about today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.